I am a 99.64 percentile in CAT 2024. People should attempt RC first, mainly because once you have your own shadow answer based on your interpretation of the passage, then you go and you read all the options. But make sure that you're practicing this in the last 10 days because it's just standalone questions. They don't require a lot of effort. They don't even require pen and paper. Now, quants is what requires revision the most. I personally don't think you should be attempting a lot of mocks right now. Maybe 2 or 3. Hi aspirants. Welcome to today's video. This is me, Nandini Jain. A brief introduction. So, I am a first year student at IIM Ahmedabad and I am a 99.64 percentile in CAT 2024. And today's video is going to be about the last 10 days and the revision strategy for CAT 2025. So, first of all, I would like to say congrats. It is a big effort that you're still over here, still preparing, because a lot of people do give up on CAT so near to the exam. So, you are one of the serious aspirants right now, and there are a lot of people who give CAT, and a lot of them are not serious. So, if this is you watching, you have it in your hands. It's okay. Just have faith in yourself. So now I'm going to get into the strategy for your revision. We are going to start first with obviously VARC. Now in VA, actually I would go with RC first because I think people should attempt RC first, mainly because in VA the questions are broken down into such small bits. It's very easy to spend too much time on them, whereas in RC you have to get into the flow, and it's a good breather for the exam. For the first question in the first paper, to just read the passage and not really go into solving. So I'll start with RC. Now, for this, I think you should just practice the 4-pause approach in the last 10 days. And the 4-pause approach is basically ensuring that you pause 4 times during the attempt of your RC. So first is after every paragraph. You read the paragraph and you make a summary in your head of what the paragraph was, just one sentence and what it was that the author was trying to convey. And you do this for every paragraph, and by the end of the passage, you take your second pause, and that is what was the passage? What are the arguments? What is the flow? What is the author trying to convey to you? And then maybe what kind of opinions is the author giving? All of these is the idea that you should have in your second pause. The third pause is after you read a question, you should have a shadow answer. Then once you have your own shadow answer based on your interpretation of the passage, then you go and you read all the options, and for each option then you take a pause and you eliminate the option or you select the option. Make sure you read all of the options. Now, it is a very big thing, but make sure that you're practicing this in the last 10 days, because on the day of the exam you are in a lot of panic and the pressure is so high that you often just keep reading and not stop to think. So make sure you're pausing to think, and that is what you're going to be practicing. It's okay if the answer isn't right, but to ensure that the flow is there, the process is there, you have to practice this. Now on to VA. I think for this you can practice it very easily because it's just standalone questions. They don't require a lot of effort. They don't even require pen and paper. You just open some when you're like eating maybe and then try to solve it and everything. So it's going to be a very off and on thing. In that, again, if you want to revise, you can maybe revise the theory behind why some options are correct and some are not. Maybe like in parajumbles, there are linked pairs. If there's neither a nor in 2 sentences, then they are going to be linked. If there's a logical gap, that is going to be linked. So all of these theories as well, you can go and practice again. So yeah, that was it for VRC. Now moving on to DILR. DILR is something that maybe you can practice a bit, but not too much, because DILR at least I feel it causes a lot of fatigue. Your mind really just goes for a toss after solving a few sets of DILR. So I would say maybe you can solve like 3 sets a day. And for this, maybe not even solve it yourself. Top Rankers has a lot of videos on YouTube of solved DILR sets. You can go and watch some of those. I will link them down below. And yeah, so instead of maybe solving, you can just go look at the videos, look at the solutions. If you want to solve it, that's fine. And if you don't, that's also fine. What the matter is that you have to see how it is being solved and how the approaches, what kind of tables are being made. And you have to take a very passive role in this because it's the last 10 days. You don't want to clutter your mind with too much. So yes, that is DILR. Now comes quants. Now quants is what requires revision the most because it has so many formulas. It has the most extensive syllabus compared to all the other two sections. So that is where the revision really kicks in. So firstly, I really hope that by now you have maintained a formula book. If not, I think there are ample resources on the internet where you can go and look up formulas for CAT. So firstly, it is about revising those formulas. I mean, algebra, arithmetic, all of these have a lot of formulas. Geometry has tons and tons and tons of formulas. And you need to go and keep in touch with those. Maybe read those formulas every day and just get it in your system. And apart from formulas, I think there are a lot of questions which have some tricks. So I remember I had this one question about two cats coming to each other, running to each other at the same time, and it was a speed distance time question. And it was very, very complicated. But if you knew the trick that you just have to multiply this, the square of this with square of this, and then you get the answer, it is just easy 3 marks that you will literally spend 5 seconds on. So try to search for these questions and maybe ask around about the tricks or tips. Maybe look at some videos, ask your mentors at Top Rankers, and make sure that you have all of these resources with you and you're just looking at those. So that is it for section wise. Now comes the mocks. I personally don't think you should be attempting a lot of mocks right now. Maybe 2 or 3, that would be maximum because right now the pressure is so high that a bad mock can really ruin your mood and ruin your on day performance as well. So I would not recommend it. If you really want to, you can give a pre 2020 mock past paper because those are 3 hours. It will test your endurance, but you know that these marks don't really have a lot of bearing on it because you are not giving that test. So this is a personal suggestion because it's just a test of your endurance. What is actually more important is not giving the mock, but actually that you give the mock in the exact time that your slot is in. By now, you already know your slots. So I would say you shift your entire body clock to ensure that your performance is ideal in those 2 hours where you're actually given the test. And take care of your health. It is most important right now. It should be your top priority. It is okay if you don't do this revision, but take very, very good care of your health. The season is changing. It is very likely that you might get a sore throat, a cough, a cold. Make sure you're taking all necessary precautions because it is a very big deal. It comes once a year, and you cannot not do it because you just did not take enough precautions. It's not worth it. But yeah, I think that is it from my side. But I would like to refocus on what I started with, that the fact that you survived this long is also a very good metric in itself about what your performance is going to be like. So have faith, take it easy, do not panic, and go get it. Thank you.